Welcome back to the Nuff podcast, and it's a special episode today because it's Zan's birthday, so happy birthday.
Oh man, thanks guys. Thanks Oli. Before we get started real quick guys, cuz he's a real one. This was my birthday gift from this year. You sent it, but that's not all. You also sent me for my birthday this as well. So we love comic books, but we also love Liverpool here at Nuff said.
Yes, we do.
We have a hatred of Manchester United and Arsenal. So but yeah, no, bro. Like, thank you, bro. You sent me this. You sent me this. But this is not the only card you sent me over the years, guys. This is not the only card you sent me over the years, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro. Like, shout out Moon Pig. Moon Pig makes great cards, bro. Shout out Moon Pig. But yeah, thank you, Ollie. You're, bro. I love you guys. I love you, bro. Love you, Ollie. Thank you guys for always tuning in to Nuff said. I'm gonna shut up now because Ollie, you're gonna be cooking today, bro. We have a lot of really great stuff in today's episode, and this is gonna be less nerd speculation, which is awesome. We love to do that, but more of an actual understanding of how the industry works and how box office goes. But like I said, I'm more of the nerd guy. Like, I don't know, I'll just shut up now. So Ollie, like, my bad, bro. But yeah, today is my birthday. Thank you guys for my birthday. If you guys want to share this episode and share all of our TikToks and follow and like and subscribe and comment, if you want to do that for my birthday as a birthday gift, that's all I really want. But without further ado, yeah, Ollie, my bad. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think we should start off by doing something we haven't even done sort of in our own time when we're catching up together, is talk a bit about Doomsday theories, because it's obviously the hype's not on the same level as Infinity War, but because the film's about a year away now, a few leaks are starting to come out. Rumours are starting to gather pace. People are starting to get excited for it. I definitely am after doing a bit of research into Doctor Doom and Battleworld in particular. So, first of all, before we go into the Doomsday theories, did you know that Robert Downey Jr. actually auditioned for Doctor Doom back in 2005 for the original Fantastic Four movie?
No, I did not.
Apparently he did. So this is a real like full circle moment that he's now Doctor Doom, which is quite interesting. But one of the main sort of things that people have been talking about in regards to Doomsday with Robert Downey Jr. playing Doom is, why does he look like Tony Stark? And people have been thinking, is Doom a variant of Tony Stark? Or another theory, which I actually think is more interesting, I think Tony Stark is a variant of Doom.
What do you mean by that?
So, right, let me go into my extensive notes. So the reason I think they have to be connected in some way, because the Russos have said that Tony 616 or Earth 19999, whatever they want to call it, Tony from that universe, his death is connected to Doom somehow.
Okay.
So what I think from different theories that I've read and things like that, I think Doom could, if Doom is a variant of Tony, this is how I think it'll work. Okay, so Doom is from a universe where Infinity War happens, they get beat, but then Endgame never happens for some reason. Scott Lang never comes out of the quantum realm, and Tony Stark drives himself insane trying to fix everything, and he can't live with the guilt of losing to Thanos, and he becomes Doom. I don't think that's as good as the other theories, but I think that's something.
Yeah, what are the other theories, bro? Because that's not bad, but yeah, let's hear the other ones.
So it also ties into the classic, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain, that sort of classic trope. So I've got so much written down. So I'll go through a bunch of quick theories that I've found here, and then I'll go into what I think.
Okay.
So there's a comic called Iron Man Demon in Armor. I think was like a what if comic or something like that, where Victor and Tony switch bodies, and then Tony's mind in Doom's body is like his mind's wiped, so he doesn't remember anything, and then Doom's brain is inside Tony's body, so that could be something. But that would be the Doom and the Tony from the Fantastic Four universe. That's happened in that universe. That could
Like
be potential.
Earth 828.
828, yeah.
Okay.
So do you remember in Multiverse of Madness when Wanda was dreamwalking using the Darkhold?
Yes. Yeah.
People
She
think
was like
that,
doing like that, where she's like floating in the air and like she's like controlling another body, right? Like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and people think that Doom could be doing that, and he could resurrect 616 Tony's corpse and dreamwalk with his corpse, which is dark. Like, that's so dark. But
Oh, I did not think of that.
I kind of like that. I think it's too dark. I don't think they'll go for that. But like,
Okay, what's
that'd
the
be
other
insane.
theory? What's the other
Okay.
theory, bro? This is like multiple choice. Like let's look at all the theories, bro.
The theory that I really like, and I think it's got the most substance to it in a way, is instead of Doom being a variant of Tony, Tony is a variant of Doom, and I can't remember who did the video, but I'll try and find their name and put it in the episode description. But someone spoke about, so the multiversal war that is referenced in Loki, that's like happened a long time ago, or whatever, and this is a way that they could bring back Kang. It's opening the door for it. So the He Who Remains, when he creates a sacred timeline after the multiversal war, he stops Doctor Doom or Victor Von Doom from existing because Victor Von Doom caused the multiversal war and tried to destroy the multiverse. He Who Remains defeated him, creates the sacred timeline, and Victor Von Doom is never Victor Von Doom. He becomes Tony Stark. So Tony Stark in 616, whoever Tony's mum is pregnant with or whatever, he gets like
You're like Rhodey from Infinity or Endgame.
Yeah. Baby Tony Stark is killed, and Victor Von Doom from the 616 universe is raised by Howard and Maria. Is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Maria or Marie, one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and sort of the reason, this is a really obscure reference, but it's like the Superman Speeding Bullets comic where Kal-El lands on Earth, but he's raised by Thomas and Martha Wayne instead of the Kents. So, that sort of thing. So Doom becomes Tony Stark, and the way this ties into the sort of the Doom that is going to be the villain coming to the 616 universe, referencing Multiverse of Madness again, that set out the rule or the theory that when you dream in the MCU, your dreams are what versions of you in other multiverses are seeing in their reality.
Yeah.
So Doom from 828, maybe, he dreams, in his dream, he sees Tony with the Infinity Gauntlet snapping his fingers and defeating Thanos. And he sees that, and he realizes in that world he's a hero, and everyone, like, he's the greatest hero of all time. So he uses that to achieve his goals of destroying the multiverse again and creating Battleworld. Because that's really the only universe where he's a hero and where Doom doesn't exist. What's your thoughts on that?
Okay, bro. So a lot of these theories really do tie into Victor's arrogance and his need to be loved. I really love that theory of he's having these dreams of an alternate version of him winning
Yeah.
and not having the issues of Latveria and his troubled past growing up. But I guess my biggest issue is, so we've or my issue, not issue, but, and this is more of a question for the audience and the comments if you guys have an answer, but also to Ollie too, because a lot of this stuff I wasn't even hip to. Um, it feels to me that Doom is kind of like like if I were to, I won't actually, but if I were to like if this was ripped, it seems like Doom is just like tape, like to just to fix, to put it on, because from Avengers, right? The first one, you knew Thanos was coming. That was 2011, 2012, twenty
Mhm.
nineteen, right? So that, I want to say, like, my math is really bad. What's 19 minus like
7 years.
7 years? Okay, so 7 years of build
Or
up.
6 years. Infinity War was 2018, wasn't it?
Right, exactly. Okay, so
Yeah.
6 years of a build up, bro. Like, to Thanos. A lot of our motivations as an audience, as MCU's fans, was to see us finally defeat the big bad, right? Because he beat
Hmm.
up Hulk so easily, he humiliated Iron Man so easily, he wiped out half the globe so easily, and then you don't even really get like a satisfactory end, quote unquote, an end game, like, which was by design with Thor, excuse me, cutting his head off, and you just kind of feel empty, and then that's the end game, and like Thanos coming back and saying, okay, well, you guys beat me the first time, now I'm gonna come back and wipe everything out. Like, it really did raise the stakes. How can we get that with Doom? Like, with Doom, it's like the new kid on the block, so you have to introduce the new kid on the block, make him intimidating, and make him a villain that's worthy of like an end game of the Marvel universe. Because I guess this is kind of like also my question. It seems to me that Marvel is kind of tying up the Infinity Saga after the Infinity Saga ended, right? They're talking
Hmm.
about rebooting, adding Iron Man and Captain America, like Steve and Tony, like Captain America and Iron Man. They're talking about having a prime MCU. The big draw of Doomsday is having the two Avengers teams, the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. This is prime Marvel. You know what I mean? You can also throw in Celestials. You can also throw in the Defenders if you really want to. But how, it seems to me, maybe I'm hating, bro, but it seems to me it's like we need to throw something at the wall. I don't see how Doom comes in out of nowhere and fits, and it's a payoff. Like it's gonna be, to me, it feels more like Age of Ultron and less like Infinity War and Endgame. Like, Doom is coming out of
Oh
nowhere.
yeah, that's a good point.
Especially, bro, even in Earth 828, you had an opportunity to have Doom's character show. Like, I'm sorry, Franklin Richards looking up at Doom and potentially changing his face to look like Tony might be a great theory, but it seems to me that all the theories that are being created around Doomsday is to explain Doom's legitimate legitimacy as a villain in this movie. But that's not good though, right? If all of your theories is just to legitimize this choice, was this choice the right one? I don't know. It's just,
Hmm.
I just think, like, with Tony, I really do like the fact that he's having these dream walking sequences of seeing Tony, but I really think that um this might be the boring answer. This might be the Last Jedi answer. I really do think they should have casted Robert Downey Jr. just for his acting, if nothing else. I think we're all kind of expecting, like, we even made a meme about it, of, like, of the Avengers seeing Tony's face after Doom takes it off, and they're like, "Oh my god!" Like, I think it would. I truly think the movie would really age well in time, similar to how No Way Home has really aged well as time has gone on. I really do think that if they did have Robert Downey Jr. just go all in on the acting chops, him take off the mask, but it be completely like scarred and burned and charred and everything like that, I think that works, and I think a lot of the hate around Doom's casting goes away. That
Hmm.
goes away because we all know what's gonna happen, bro. It's the same reason why Shrek 5 got delayed. All of the freaking fans discovered the plot, and now DreamWorks is going back and redoing it, and there was no leaks. It was just highly predictable. We all know they're going to have a scene where Doom takes off the mask and the Avengers are like you ever see like those Hollywood Indian, like, you know, where the camera comes out of nowhere, up, down, left, right, and they're like, oh, how could you do this, Tony? Like, we know that's gonna happen. But I think having a shocking sequence of Tony surprise, like, that's predictable. That doesn't shock us. That might shock the audience, but again, predictable. I honestly think they should just go all in on he takes his mask off and it truly is Doom. And he was potentially the best actor to play Doom. I really think that might be the better way to go. I just don't see in universe right now Doom coming in out of nowhere and being a villain as huge as Thanos and having a lasting impact on the MCU without the history with Reed, without the history of the future, without the past Fantastic Four, without the history of the greater MCU. Like, you remember how Wakanda Forever was supposed to have Doom in it? That would have made more sense,
Yeah,
honestly. That would have made way more sense. Doom affecting the war between Wakanda and Atlantis, and Doom coming in and kind of reaping the rewards for
that would have
himself.
been cool.
Like,
Was
there's,
that the original plan before what unfortunately happened to Chadwick?
I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I know that fake, you know, that fake picture of Doom in the hallway with the green
Oh
cloak and
yeah.
he's like staring at the Wakandan like princesses or the Dora Milaje.
hmm
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I just Doom is a Fantastic Four villain first, specifically Reed. And if
hmm
you read Secret Wars, because like Secret Wars by Jonathan Hickman, it wasn't so much like a lot of the fans. It isn't so much as the fact that like Reed and Doom don't have a history, and that's why this story doesn't really make sense in Doomsday potentially. For me, it's more so much the fact that the story itself by Jonathan Hickman was written with so much sophistication. Like, there's a
hmm
panel where it's checkerboard designed, right? I'll put it on the screen. It's checkerboard design where it's like one, it's a whole splash page of a comic book, and it's just checker designed, and one square has like an eye of Doom, and then one has like a picture of Reed, and it's like a mosaic of checkerboard squares that have a face that is combined of both Doom and Reed. I'm doing a terrible job explaining it, but when I put the visual, you guys know what I'm saying. But essentially, what that picture shows is the dynamic between Reed and Doom really is a chessboard. It
hmm
really is a chess match, and it really is a battle of ideology and a battle of ego and a battle of honestly belonging too. Like, Doom is jealous of Reed. Let's be real.
hmm
Like, it's a battle of ego, and it's a culmination of two of the strongest and smartest minds in the Marvel universe. I don't know how Doomsday or Secret Wars even comes close to that gravitas without skipping a lot of necessary steps. So to me, it's, I don't know. I'm very nervous about Doomsday, bro. I just think they're rushing a lot of steps. They haven't built up nearly enough characters. And if you really think about it, post Endgame to now Doomsday, outside of No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness and Thunderbolts, you don't need to watch anything else. And that's sad.
Yeah, that's true.
That,
Do you not think though that maybe because there's been rumors that Doom will be like the main character of Doomsday, similar to how Thanos was in Infinity War. If this is like a 3-hour film, do you think they can afford to spend maybe an hour of this movie on Doom, just on his backstory?
Doom went.
Because we've got Secret Wars coming the next year as well. Do you think that's too much of a risk?
I know we're going to be talking about Spider-Man Brand New Day much later in the episode, but just briefly, Doom would have to do something crazy, like
hmm
killing Andrew or Toby Spider-Man, for us as the audience to be like, yo, this guy's dangerous.
Yeah.
That he would have to do something crazy. Like, kidnapping Franklin isn't enough. Sorry. Like, you know, like,
We
it's
only
not
just
enough.
met the guy.
Yeah, like, that's not enough. Like, imagine like Andrew, like have Doom go through other multiverses, bro. Like, have him
Mm,
go through the other multiverses. Have Doom assemble a bunch of Sentinels to take on 838 X-Men. That 838
yeah.
is also the universe where Scarlet Witch went and wiped out the Illuminati, right? Like John
Yeah.
Krasinski's Reed Richards is canon to Earth 838, correct? Or am I not?
I think that's right. Let me double check.
Well, if that is the
Um,
case, chat if I'm wrong, comments if I'm wrong, let me know. But I'm pretty sure John Krasinski's Fantastic Four, the Illuminati that we've seen in
Yes,
multiple.
838.
Okay,
838. So they're
and
838. Fantastic Four is 828.
828, 838, and Earth 19999. Those are the major,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, okay, boom. So I would think like Doom would have to do crazy stuff immediately for us to be like, oh, we're locked in. Number one,
Yeah.
we should probably see some version of him ripping out Thanos' spine, like from the comics, like God Emperor
Oh,
Doom,
yes.
for sure. I don't want this to happen, but they can't be Spider-Man forever, and we're probably not getting an amazing Spider-Man 3 or a Spider-Man 4 for Toby or Andrew. So if they're going to go out, have them go out in Doomsday or Secret Wars, either one of the movies. I think it would be pretty profound if Doom killed one of them or both in front
Do
of
you
Tom
think they
Holland's
could do
Spider-Man.
something similar? You know, there's that theory when Endgame came out, or there's a scrapped version of the script where Thanos goes back to 2012, returns to the future, and he's got Steve Rogers' head. Do you
Yeah,
think they could do something like that with like Toby or Andrew? That would be insane.
I mean, I'm following the analogy. Yeah, they probably couldn't do a
Yeah,
literal head, but like I'm following what you're saying, like something grotesque, something
yeah,
horrifying. Yeah, yeah, you have to, and because bro, Thanos kind of came off as calm and measured. He didn't come off as arrogant so much as he came like, to use an analogy, like he was like a 18-wheeler truck just driving right through you. Hopefully audiences aren't driving the car or something while they're listening to this, but like it's like you're driving on the highway and an 18-wheeler is just coming right towards you and there's nothing you can do, right?
yeah.
Doctor Doom, though, he's arrogant, he's narcissistic, he's more vengeful. He blew up a universe just because they were successful. He blew up a universe where an alternate version of him and Reed were friends, and that irritated him. So he's like, I can't have that. Boom. Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom, bro. The only reason Spider-Man is kind of like alive right now in 616, because if you read posts 9/11, there was a post 9/11 issue where Doom is pretty much he's like offering his services to help with New York post 9/11. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, like helping with rubble and stuff like that. And Spider-Man's like pretty much like, get out of here, you're a villain, Doom, we don't want you here. And Doom was like, if it wasn't for the fact that you're a respected hero and I owe you a debt, I would kill you right now. Like,
He's
that is,
ruthless, isn't he?
yeah, like he's high, like bro, Doom is easily rage baited, but he doesn't like people to know that because of his arrogance. Like that's his character. That's a very rough version of, but that's his character. Doom is a competent Lex Luthor. Doom is a Vader without issues. Like that's who Doom is. You get what I mean? So for him to just immediately take the scene, like they went, bro, I really think Doom would benefit from a Marvel presentation special, like how they're doing with Punisher.
Oh yeah,
They, I still don't get why Doom wasn't a part of the Fantastic Four. Again, he's a Fantastic Four villain, and also there were reports that Pedro Pascal is not the lead or a lead character of the hero part of the Avengers, like out of those teams. I get maybe it's probably Sam Wilson. I get for a thematic time, like maybe if Spider-Man's in the movie, maybe he might have some. I don't know. I remember a couple of years ago there was rumors that Spider-Man was going to be the main character back when
yeah. We
Destin
did an
Daniel
episode
Cretton.
on it.
Yeah, Destin Daniel Cretton was supposed to lead Kang Dynasty, and Spider-Man was going to be the main. I doubt that's probably the case now. But again, like for Doom, I just don't know, bro. Like, bro, we have Roman Reigns, right? And we don't have any baby faces that can actually challenge him. And now you
Yeah, no
guys
one's
are
on his
asking,
level.
no one's on his level. And but also Roman Reigns spent 4 years to be the head of the table, right? To be the tribal chief. Doom hasn't done anything like that yet.
Yeah,
So if he hasn't done anything for us to buy into why we need to beat him, it's hard for me to be excited for a movie that he's going to be a part of. I'm more excited for the fact that we're getting the X-Men. I'm excited that we're getting the Fantastic Four. I'm excited we're getting the Avengers, and I'm excited we're getting Spider-Man and the street level stuff all together in one Marvel event. But again, my excitement for Doomsday and Secret Wars is more about the event and the spectacle and the fact that I'm a Marvel fan.
yeah.
I don't know about the story. I really hope the story's good. I don't know about the story, and I'm really scared about that because Thunderbolts was great. Fantastic Four was eh. I'm sure Brand New Day is going to be phenomenal, but Doomsday, I don't know, bro. Like there just hasn't been enough build up. Like they're trying to build a mansion. They're trying to build a mansion, but they don't have any of the foundation.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Like there's a couple of ways that they could make Doomsday decent, like good.
Well, I know you've got a theory that you mentioned to me the other day that involves Spider-Man. Do you
Yeah,
want to maybe discuss
yeah,
that a little bit?
bro. So here's the thing, and I know you guys. Oh my God, it's Zen talking about Spider-Man again, but this truly is like if you look at it from a business perspective too, and we'll talk about it from the business aspect. I really do think that Spider-Man Brand New Day or Avengers Doomsday, excuse me, is in danger of making less money than Spider-Man Brand New Day. And if that's the case, if one of your characters is more of a draw than an amalgamation of all of your best characters, that's an indictment on the overall story that the MCU has been putting out there. But that's a whole nother. We'll get into that later.
Yeah,
But
we've got a lot planned for that discussion later in the
yeah, yeah.
episode.
But I think like so my theory is, and it also ties to Old Man Cap. Have you guys been seeing, Ollie, have you also seen online where they're saying like Doom might be like the hero, like in his head he's the hero, he sees these incursions just as dangerous and reality ending as, let's say, Miguel from Across Spider-Verse,
Mm.
Strange from Multiverse of Madness, Peter from No Way Home. Like Doom has also experienced those issues as well, as a lot of like the reports are saying. So he's going out throughout the multiverse to stop these incursions no matter what. Okay? But he's probably going about it very Doom like, right? He's probably going out there just killing people. Right? He's probably going out there just murking people. Or it's like, oh, if I can't do anything about this world, maybe it's better to, like, I could definitely see Doom operate like, unfortunately, the US government. Like I could see him operate like that, bro. So like for Doom, he would have to for him to tie into my theory about how Spider-Man connects to this. Doom's motivations would have to be, for this theory to work, Doom's motivations would have to be tied to stopping the incursions and for him to save the multiverse. That has to be a motivation for this theory to work. Because here's why. If Doom is stopping incursions by just straight up killing them and sending them back or just wiping them out, he's doing what Paradox and Cassandra Nova were doing in Deadpool and Wolverine. He's doing what Strange and the other versions of Strange were doing in Multiverse of Madness. And he's doing what Strange was suggesting that Peter do in No Way Home. But who is the one person who stopped incursions and changed the multiverse without killing people?
Peter, Spider-Man.
Perfect. This exactly. No Way Home had to happen the way that it needed to happen because No Way Home set the groundwork that for an Avenger to know what, or an Avenger level superhero, because I'd imagine Peter probably doesn't rock with the Avengers anymore, but for a major Marvel player to understand what those incursions meaning there's going to be a bunch of No Way Home level events in Doomsday. There's going to be a ton of No Way Home events. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be in a similar position like Peter Parker, where the multiverse is collapsing, probably due to something connecting to them, especially if they're a sacred anchor being, excuse me. Right? So in Peter Parker's case, he changed the multiverse in Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 1, I'd argue maybe, Spider-Man 3 for sure, Amazing Spider-Man, and Amazing Spider-Man 2. He changed the realities of those movies. I have a feeling that Otto lived. Uh, Norman is probably in prison. Sandman is cured of his sand degenerative disease. Electro and Lizard, I don't know, but like they're probably saved. But I would say that the fact that Peter Parker changed the multiverse without killing people, the reason why Doom is probably going after Peter is not because he stopped an incursion. It's because he stopped an incursion without needing to go about it Doom's way. So the moment Doom is going through the multiverse and telling people we got to stop incursions by murking them, by blasting them, by eliminating them, and then Peter Parker comes around and goes like, "Bro, all of No Way Home was me negating that theory. You can change the multiverse. There's going to be a cost, but the cost for Peter was his identity, because with great power comes great responsibility." And not to tie into the boys or Homelander into this, but the reason why great power, great responsibility needs to be highlighted in terms of like the multiverse and the incursion changes is because that motto means in a world full of Homelanders, in a world full of Norman Osborns, in a world full of Doctor Dooms, a bunch of people who do not care about other people, and a bunch of people who just hurt other people, you have to be the one that isn't going to be that person.
Hmm.
With great power comes great responsibility is about creating a safe neighborhood and being a positive force. It's to not be the worst of humanity, to be the best of humanity. It's to be the complete 180, right? So if Doom's ideological version of saving the incursions is wiping them out and destroying these worlds, and that works, but if Peter's version, which is what he did in No Way Home, is actually saving them, going through the multiverses each individually, fixing each issue and going about it more meticulously, like he did in No Way Home. Now the Marvel, characters are split, right? Are you going
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Peter Parker's way? Or are you going Doom's way? Because both lead to success, right? But here's another probably wrinkle into it, right? Doom is probably looking for Peter Parker because he changed the multiverse, but when he comes to Earth 616 or Earth 1999, nobody remembers who he is. Nobody knows who Peter Parker is. So Doom is probably like, what the hell? That's probably gonna like drive him insane. So
Yeah.
I really think that's my theory. I think Doom is probably gonna try to kill Peter Parker, not because he's necessarily causing the incursions, but because he is probably competition on how to do it, on how to beat it. That's
It's not. He's
competition.
not doing it his way, and that infuriates him.
And it's probably more effective. It's probably more
Yeah.
effective, but it's probably more dangerous. And Doom's like, I can't have that. So he has to go. So his motivations for killing Peter Parker, or killing Spider-Man, or axing him or whatever, if he's in the movie, is purely Doom related, purely ego related. That's classic Doom. That works. That
Mm.
works. So that's my theory. I think if Spider-Man is in Doomsday, it'll be an ideological clash over the incursions. Because Doom is wiping out other multiverses, but Spider-Man saved the multiverse of Green Goblin, who still murked his aunt. They're not the same. And if you look at like, because Peter Parker's character has always been somebody who feels deeply in the comics medium, MCU, he's always been a character who feels deeply. That's why he snapped in No Way Home. The one time where he did everything for people who truly needed help, and for Green Goblin to stab him in the back truly because he was that evil and he didn't have a motivation like Vulture, kind of like Mysterio. Mysterio was kind of evil, but he died, so whatever, died, right? But Green Goblin killed his aunt for no other reason, just because he wanted to ideologically break Peter. That's going to enrage even the nicest of people. So it's like
Yeah.
Peter, he's going to be in a different mindset. So anybody who is on that Green Goblin timing, like Doctor Doom probably is going to upset Peter Parker off. He's not going to want to affiliate with that. So I keep repeating it, but that's my theory. I think with great power comes great responsibility. Literally change the multiverse of Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, TASM 1 and 2. Probably save the reality, or save the outcomes of all of those villains. Probably didn't cause an incursion or whatever. And that it goes against what Doom is saying. So he's like, you gotta go. You gotta go. And then what if Doom does murk Peter? Like what if he's trying to kill Peter and the other spider people come in and they're trying to stop him? Like Toby's helping him, Andrew's helping him, and Doom kills both of them in front of Peter.
That
And
would
then
be brutal.
maybe he leaves Peter to die and he's dying and he's on Battle World, right? Because I don't want to
Hmm.
take away the Craven's Last Hunt graveyard thing away from that story. I know a lot of TikTok people are saying have him come out of the grave on Battle World. No, keep that for a Spider-Man story. But I do think as he lays dying or whatever, Peter Parker, Tom Holland's Peter Parker dying, he just lost his Spider Brothers. That is when the Venom symbiote comes in.
Yes, because in Secret Wars, like the original, was it in 1985, 1984? That's when he got the symbiote originally, wasn't it? That was like
Yeah,
the first time he got it.
yeah.
So that'd make perfect sense.
And that way you can keep, because and Craven's Last Hunt, Peter didn't get buried red, blue suit, come out black suit. That's what a lot of TikTok is saying. No, no, no.
Mm.
And he was also in a cloth suit the entire time. That was not the symbiote suit that he was in Craven's Last Hunt. I want people to understand that it was a black cloth suit. Sometimes Peter's feeling a little emo and he just wants to feel edgy and he'll just wear a black suit.
Puts his
It's
hair
not a
like that.
symbiote. Yeah. I would do it too, but I have the Lex Luthor, But anyway, so
Got the Arnie slot.
shout out Arne Slut, bro, by the way. We love Arne Slut. But anyway, so I think that is kind of what needs to happen, pretty much. Like that's pretty much all my
I think
thoughts.
that makes a lot of sense because this sort of is a nice segue into what we're talking about next. But No Way Home is obviously the film, the MCU film since Endgame that made the most money and people are the most familiar with, and it would make sense to go with that not necessarily a simple or straightforward story, but one that is the easiest for the audience to understand because everyone saw No Way Home, everyone understands that movie. So if the plot of Doomsday ties into something they've already seen, they already completely understand, then they don't have to um, jump through a lot of hoops and do a lot of complicated things in Doomsday. They can just, if they tie it into that story that everyone already knows,
Hmm.
then it's a lot. Because Doomsday, with the whole situation pivoting to Doom, has become very risky and ambitious. And I think if it's not really, you've convinced me actually with that theory. If it's not connected to Spider-Man or No Way Home, then I think it's really, really risky, and they need this to succeed because of how the films are currently performing at the box office. And that should we get into the box office chat now? Then
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
because
we've leaned into that quite well there.
yeah, and we can also, like, I know we're talking Marvel too, but also let's use Superman as an example,
Mm.
because a lot of people are saying it made less than Man of Steel, like, overall. And
I think it's overtaken it now. I think this
okay,
week it's just overtaken it.
okay, so maybe barely beating it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Thunderbolts didn't make a lot, but it was still like a critical success. Fantastic Four fell off hard. Um, my question is, when people look at box office, right? Like, what actually, what actually determines a success for Doomsday? Like, what would it have to make? And also,
Um,
my kind of, is it accurate to say, bro, if Spider-Man Brand New Day makes way more money, like I'm talking way more money than
mhm.
Avengers Doomsday, right? Even if they both break like profit and margin, I'm talking if it's like, bro, like more people were clearly more invested, because I feel like that's what it is right now. People are way more excited for John Bernthal's Punisher and Brand New Day than they are Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom. Like that's crazy work, bro. Like we're gonna talk about who the villain is in Brand New Day because we still don't know. People are saying you're not gonna know. That's crazy. Like we want to
Yeah,
find out. Like I I just think like there's gravitas around Brand New Day that Doomsday just does not have. Like they're advertising like behind the scenes footage for Brand New Day. Why aren't they doing that for Doomsday? They showed us stupid chairs. Like
because
like
it's all on blue and green screens, and it's all gonna look like a CGI mess.
Yeah, like what? Okay, so what constitutes a box? Like what does Marvel want to see? What does Disney want to see from the box office? And then my other question: what actually determines a flop? Like what actually
Okay,
determines like, yo, this was not good?
I think a success. This is what I would see as a success for Doomsday. I think because No Way Home made 1.92 billion, which, as I've said before on the podcast, didn't come out in China. It was still COVID times. That that makes 3 billion if
Mhm.
in any other year, well,
Without
apart from
question.
2020. Um, but I feel like it's got to get somewhere in that realm because Endgame made nearly 3 billion. Like, I think it was 2.8, 2.9 in the end, maybe.
Hmm.
So I think it's got to be between 1.5 and 2 billion. Doomsday. Secret
Okay.
Wars, if Doomsday is a great success, and fans love it, Secret War, like Endgame was with Infinity War, Secret Wars will make more because it's the finale. What was your second question?
What determines an actual box office flop? Like the
Right,
fact
right, yeah.
that Thunderbolts didn't make that much money, right? Comparatively, is the sequel cooked? Like, are we not getting a sequel? Shang-Chi made it. I feel like made a lot of money. We still haven't gotten a
I, th-
sequel.
I
Like,
think previously, before Disney Plus, they would have been considered flops.
okay,
Um,
why do you
I
say
think
that?
because the films are in the cinema for longer, and a lot of audiences now and I'll go into the reasons for this. But a lot of audiences now are just waiting for the film to come out on Disney Plus, because it comes out on Disney Plus 3 months after release. But back in the day, when before streaming, it would be 4 to 5 months from the theatrical release that the film would come out on DVD or Blu-ray, and then people would still have to go and buy it. So they'd have to. I know people pay for the subscription, but they use that to watch loads of other things, especially in the US, because I think ESPN is integrated into Disney Plus in the US and other areas.
Yep.
So back in the day, people would make an effort to go and watch it in the cinema, because if they don't watch it in the cinema, they'd have to go to the shop and buy it on DVD or Blu-ray, and that's not as easy. It's not like the cinema was it was a proper experience. People would go out and they'd make an effort to go out to the cinema to see it, because they wouldn't know when they'd be able to watch it at home, because DVDs, back in the day, they weren't, and Blu-rays weren't that cheap really.
Yeah.
Because everyone has streaming now. They were just like, oh yeah, I'll wait a few months and just watch it at home. I can have it at a click of a button. Do you know what I mean? So I think that even though some films since Endgame, like Thunderbolts, like Fantastic Four, have made what would be considered flops before, like the same amount of money, they aren't flops because people are still watching them. Like, people are still they've been critically very well received, especially Thunderbolts. I think Thunderbolts is it top 10, top 5 MCU? That's a discussion for another time.
I agree. No, I agree with that. I said, bro, everybody, I was talking to my brothers about it, and they thought I was crazy. I said Thunderbolts was way better than Fantastic Four. I thought it wasn't even close.
I think the only... I love No Way Home, but I feel like I can't include that in this discussion, because that's just on a whole another plane of existence. But I think since Endgame, the only film better than Thunderbolts is probably Guardians 3, which for me is the best MCU film. Which we've got a full episode on our channel if you want to check that out.
Yeah, no.
Plug in there. But I've got a lot of analysis written down here about the MCU box office that I'm going to go into.
Yeah. So when fans say MCU is dead, is that accurate?
I don't think it's as black and white as that.
Okay. So all right,
since Endgame in 2019, only 3 MCU movies out of the 16 that have been released have made over $1 billion worldwide. 2 of them are Spider-Man movies, so Sony properties, where Sony, I think, gets the majority of the box office, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And then the other one is... So, No Way Home made 1.92, Far From Home made 1.13 billion. The only other movie that's made over $1 billion is Deadpool and Wolverine, which was 1.34, and that's not really something Disney or Marvel can take credit for, because Fox did literally all of the legwork building those characters, which I think is an interesting thing to look at. And if you compare that with the 6 years before Endgame, so everything after the first Avengers movie, out of those 16 movies, 7 made over $1 billion.
And what were those 7?
Obviously, Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
Iron Man 3, Avengers Age of Ultron, Captain America Civil War, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, which was quite surprising that made over $1 billion. But
probably because the Infinity War ends credits.
Even if you take Infinity War and Endgame away from it, there's still 5 movies that are making over $1 billion. But then even if the ones that didn't make over $1 billion, 3 made over 800 million, so getting very close to the $1 billion mark. 2 made between 7 and 800 million, and everything else made at least 500 million worldwide. So,
wow.
If you look at since Endgame, I think it's tricky looking at Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and Eternals, because there's still COVID restrictions everywhere at the time. So you've got to look at that with that lens on. But the first MCU, if you take away those three because of the COVID circumstances, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was the first MCU movie since before the original Avengers movie to make less than 500 million worldwide.
Yeah, well, shout out Peyton Reed.
Partly because that is an absolutely atrocious movie that is a disgrace to cinema.
To me, that's the worst MCU movie of all time. To me, that's the worst one.
That's by far the worst. Thor: Love and Thunder just above it.
Yeah, barely. I just think Thor: Love and Thunder did have that cool black and white scene on that planet. And then I know it's corny, but all of those kids having the power of Thor, that is cool. At the time, I hated it. Now it's cool. I'm not gonna lie. That is cool. That is cool.
Do we need an episode on Thor: Love and Thunder? Because I think we've got a lot to say about that movie.
We might have to do a revisionist history on Thor: Love and Thunder because the movie is not good. It's terrible. It sucks. But
it
there
could have been amazing.
And there's moments of charm that I just can't hate. Like I want to hate it. I want to hate it so bad. But the whole eternity scene where he's like, I choose love. I'm like, yo, that's deep, bro. Like that's deep, bro. Like, and then the whole, I don't know, like, yeah, it completely butchered Jason Aaron's run. Like, yes, it did. But I can't lie, bro. Like, there are some fun, heartwarming stuff in Thor: Love and Thunder. Like, I felt like Thor: Love and Thunder kind of knew it sucked at a point, and so then it tried to have fun with it. Like, I felt like they knew this sucks.
Right, I won't get dragged into this now because
I feel like Ant-Man and Quantumania, I feel like they truly went into
redeeming qualities of that movie.
They went into that movie, bro. They went into that movie truly believing they cooked.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy. They came out of that movie thinking they truly made some cinema. What are you on? Give me that. It's my birthday, so give me that. I need that. Let me get lit. What are you on thinking that was good? Like, at least Thor: Love and Thunder, they knew that sucked. They knew that was trash, but they had fun with it. Yeah, I don't know. We just got off on a Thor: Love and
if you look at Quantumania, that's sort of the beginning of maybe the decline in the box office sort of performance of MCU movies.
Oh yeah,
because
Jonathan Majors, that happened then too, right?
Yes, that was right around the same, because Creed 3 was around that time as well. It was after Creed 3 that all the allegations came out. But here's my a conclusion, I think. So obviously with the build up to Infinity War and Endgame, that is something that had never been seen before. That was an unprecedented like theatrical, like box office, storyline wise success. That was like we'd never seen before. That got Marvel a lot of trust. Like they gained the audience's trust with all that long term storytelling and just the sheer success of Infinity War and Endgame. And I think that's reflected in the performance of at the box office of the first few films after, taking away if you look at it, the first three with, the COVID sort of era. Because Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is, I think it starts off incredible and it just sort of doesn't fulfill its potential.
Like Fantastic Four.
Yeah. That nearly made $1 billion. That made $952 million, that movie. And then Thor: Love and Thunder, which we've just mentioned, a lot of overall people weren't keen on that. That made $760 million. And then Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which obviously was made under very
dire circumstances.
And not the film they intended it to be initially.
That's the only one that's going to pass. To me, I
think they still pulled it off. I think it's still a great movie. That made $859 billion. So you can see in the first few films after Endgame, fans were still making a trip to the cinema. They were still making an effort to go and watch MCU movies in the cinema because they trusted through the 10 years plus of films before, they knew they were getting a, a good film in the cinema,
Yeah.
and it would be part of a bigger story. So like, oh, we have to go to the cinema to see it. But because the actual films haven't been as good since Endgame, people for the first few films after made these trips, and then they were like, oh, these films aren't as good, and I have no idea what they're building to, and I have to watch all these series to understand what's going to happen. I'm not going to make an effort to go to the cinema anymore, and that's reflected in the films that come after that. But I think that starts with Quantumania getting less than 500 million. Guardians 3 next is a bit of an anomaly, but that's because it's James Gunn and
James
it's
Gunn,
the Guardians. Yeah. It's the Guardian. So most of the films since Endgame are there's a couple that are sequels, but Guardians is the only one that's really part of like an OG sort of MCU IP, and it's the conclusion of the Guardian story. So that made 845 million, but that's an original MCU sort of group. After that is where it starts to get really bad. The Marvels, on a $270 million budget, makes $199 million at the worldwide box office. And that's which is insane considering Captain Marvel made over $1 billion. The sequel makes less than 200 million. That's because fans had made the effort to go to cinema since Endgame. They weren't getting quality films. The films weren't building to anything. They weren't a cohesive sort of universe. And people were like, oh, I don't care about this anymore. I'm not going to go to the cinema. And then Captain America Brave New World, $413. That's not a good film.
No.
Thunderbolts,
Especially
even though that's
year.
Yeah, Thunderbolts, an incredible movie, which we need to do a full episode on at some point. Yeah. $382 million. Fans' trust in the MCU was broken by not getting quality films since Endgame consistently, and it being too chaotic. They have to watch all the Disney Plus shows. So I think that's why Doomsday is so crucial, because they haven't got the trust of the audiences anymore, and it's such a risk because they need this to make money, and they need the trust of the audiences again, so that the audiences go back to the cinemas for, because if they keep making films that are making $300-400 million and then every 5 years make a $2 billion movie, obviously they're still making a hell of a lot of money, an obscene amount of money, but it's not what it was before Endgame. Every film was making nearly $1 billion, and that's what they want to get back to. So with this MCU sort of reset, if we want to call it that, what we think is going to happen after Secret Wars, they need to get back to what it was like before Endgame, and just rather than they're trying to do too much at once, weren't they? With Kang and everything like that. They need to get back to just focusing on making quality movies, get the audience's trust back with Doomsday and Secret Wars, and if you gain the audience's trust, then the films will start making 500+ million again. I feel like I was a bit all over the place there, but did that make sense?
No, that makes total sense, especially with the Disney Plus shows. Like, shifting gears, because I know we're talking about box office too, and kind of understanding the audiences and everything like that. Some of the comments in our YouTube section were also talking about Superman and Man of Steel. I know we're talking about Marvel right now, but box office and understanding it. Did Superman flop? Like, because as an just like neutral, like DC fan, but I love Superman, like whatever. To me, it's a little crazy. Like, I know it's my birthday today. Happy birthday to me. I can watch Superman on the TV. But it is crazy that literally less than over a month, they go straight to digital. And then when you look at the numbers, bro, Man of Steel did fantastic internationally, versus internationally, Superman is not. And for sure, that has a lot to do with how America is operating in the world and Superman being, quote unquote, an American icon. Like, I understand that. But did Superman, is there an argument to be made by Snyder fans when they say Superman flopped or Superman did not meet expectations, did Superman do what it needed to do to kind of be a successful DCU franchise, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think it did, because I'm just looking at the box office stats now. You're right about domestic; it's doing incredibly well, $335 million as it stands. International, normally international makes, obviously more than domestic. It's only on 251 million international, so adding up to nearly 600 million worldwide, which I think is actually very good, because obviously Snyder fans, Snyder cultists, whatever you want to call them, they won't admit it, but he did a lot of, like I was talking about with since Endgame, broke trust with the audience. The fans didn't trust that DC movies were going to be good, because he, like, him and DC student, I can't put all the blame on him. The executives at DC,
Walter Hamada,
like what they did with the Batgirl film, they were just like hurting the potential of their own box office by making just absolutely dire movies. So I think the fact that people have a lot of trust in James Gunn anyway because of the Guardians films. The fact that it's made nearly 600 million in about a month, I think is really good.
So why did they go to digital then?
Well, apparently James Gunn has said it's because he wants people to see it before Peacemaker season 2.
And it's, but wouldn't
which
it,
I don't really understand.
Yeah, because you can just go to the theater and have a way better experience at the theater than at your living room. Like, what? I don't.
That's only in America that it'll be on. Like, is it just like purchase on digital, or is it HBO Max or whatever it's called?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, okay. But my brothers texted me. Shout out my brothers. They texted me that my dad saw Superman last night, like at the house. So they must have saw it digitally. But yeah, I don't. This movie was so good. I know we're just talking box office. We already have an episode talking about the story and stuff. Go check that out. Great episode. We're just talking numbers here for this case. But for a movie like Superman, bro, that truly is a movie you want to go to the theater for. Like from the opening intro, from the musical spectacle to the grandiose camera angles, even just like the poignant moments, like Pa Kent and Clark Kent. That's my favorite scene in the movie. Out of all the action, out of everything, that scene with Pa and Superman just talking about how much he loves his son, and that hits different in the theater. That hits different in the theater. You got, you got a camera. You got, excuse me, not camera. You have a speaker here, boom, 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 everywhere. You got the sad, poignant farm boy music. Like, bro, I feel like I get that James Gunn wants to have a tightly neat ship and everything goes his way. Like, you're the CEO. Like, I get it, but I think that. I don't know, man. That movie needs to be in theaters for a lot longer. It shouldn't go straight
especially with it being the first installment in this refresh of DCU. It needs to make its mark, doesn't it? And Superman's such a huge name that it's still in cinemas as well. Don't, like, people who are watching, like, don't think they've just taken it out of cinemas. It is still in cinemas, but people just probably won't go to cinema to watch it now because they can just watch it at home.
Which is sad because, bro, 10 years ago, I know 10 years ago, 12 years ago, we didn't have this technology of streaming and stuff to this degree. But, bro, 10 years ago, if you brought people from 10 years ago, time machine now, talking about, hey, you want to watch Superman here, they would say, bro, let's go to the theaters.
Yeah.
I know it's more convenient here, but let's go to the theaters. Like, there is a whole experience behind that movies like these need to bring audiences to go to this year was a fantastic year for movies, bro. From Sinners, from the month of July, Jurassic World, Fantastic Four, Superman. We just had Weapons. We're gonna be having a Good Boy. I'm excited for Good Boy, guys. Ollie,
I can't watch that. I love dogs too much,
bro. We need a whole episode on Good Boy when that comes out, guys. If you don't know what Good Boy is. It's straight up like Courage the Cowardly Dog. They're making a movie, a paranormal movie like The Conjuring, right?
Oh,
But from the
I can't.
perspective of a dog, from the perspective of a dog, bro. Wallahi, Allah is watching, bro. If they kill that dog, I'm gonna find that director. I better not see that. Bro, bro. Like I'm telling you, I'm telling you right now, bro. They better not have a dog die and Good Boy, bro, because that's gonna break my heart. And if that happens, I
Oh,
will
it's
do the
gonna
impossible.
happen.
I will get a Quran, bro. If they kill that dog, I will get a Quran. I will go to every single paranormal place in the world and I am going to exercise it in the name of Allah's name, bro. They cannot kill that dog. They cannot kill that dog. Maybe have a sad ending where the dog tries to save the family, but the family is taken by the demon or whatever. But if they kill that dog, I'm going to kill every demon on the world. I'm going to, Blade, Blade, I'm going to turn into the Pakistani man called the Chappal man, the shoe man. You know how like we're always throwing shoes? I'm gonna start killing demons with a shoe if they kill that dog. But we just got away off the topic. Man, 2025 is a great year for movies, bro. So the fact that Superman is getting taken out of theaters so quickly, to me, is just hurting. So much of what made that movie great wasn't just the script and the acting, but also the cinematic experience. Taking that away, I just feel like that's a very, very bad move. Not everybody has a home speaker system in their house.
Hmm.
And then another thing too, and this is what I was talking about earlier, talking about the Marvels, and it connects to what I was saying earlier. Bro, these movies, any movie in general, especially in the summer, you got to motivate people to go to the theaters because it isn't so much about movies and it isn't so much about characters, so much as it is about that cinematic experience. People went to the theater to watch Barbenheimer, Barbie versus Oppenheimer. Anytime there's a Christopher Nolan movie, people are going to go watch that. Spider-Man movies, that's an event. People are going to go watch that. The only thing that wasn't an event, I would argue, is maybe TASM 2. Like, every single, those are cinematic events. Jurassic World, no matter if the movie sucks, people are going to go. It's a cinematic event. If these new Marvel movies don't learn anything from what we're talking about, at the very least, they need to start making their movies feel like events and a cinematic experience. Something that you gotta go watch that, bro. You gotta go watch that. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
need that. They need that. So that's why. And going back to the Marvels, because that flopped really bad, bro. I'm Pakistani, right? This is what I was saying earlier. I'm Pakistani. A lot of you guys think I'm black. Um, thank you, I appreciate it. Like I sound like Andrew Garfield from like No Way Home, where he's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry." Like that's how I feel. "Oh man, I'm sorry." Talking to Electro, I am not a black man. I'm a Pakistani man. But I don't. To be clear, I don't have a problem being called black. I just don't want to claim an identity that is not mine. That's disrespectful. But going to what I was saying, as a Pakistani man, bro, nobody knew the Marvels was coming in theaters. Nobody knew that. My
Yeah.
younger brother, we got to get my younger brother just briefly 5 minutes at one point in the future. Bro, he didn't even know who Miss Marvel was, and he's Pakistani, and
Oh,
that's his age
really?
range, and he didn't know who she was. He was like, "Who is that?" And I was like, "Bro, Pakistani superhero," and he's like, "What? We have those?" And he got excited, and I'm like, "Yeah, bro, there's a whole TV show about it." We watched the TV show, and he's like, "Bro, low key, if that's the first Pakistani superhero, I'm good, bro." And I'm like, it wasn't a bad show. Like it wasn't. Like Miss Marvel wasn't a bad show, but he was like, it wasn't memorable. And if you look at like a lot of Muslim media, it's the same thing over and over again. Don't be a terrorist. Be better. We have to be kind with great power. Just ripping off Spider-Man. Like, bro, like we can tell nuanced stories about being a Pakistani or being a Muslim immigrant and them not always have to intersect. Like, for example, there's a lot of interdynamic issues between the Muslim world. Like, just because you're Muslim, that doesn't negate, racism from like the Arab world to like South Asians or like, Indonesians from the Malaysians, like that's not the same. I felt like the show did a lot of just welcome to Pakistan and Islam 101. And it's like, bro, I can go on YouTube for that. I came here for the superhero stuff. And that's what my
Mhm.
brother was like. I don't care about Miss Marvel. She barely did any superhero stuff the entire time. She was just talking about, no disrespect, but she was talking about Allah and praying and not being a jinn and being a good Muslim. Bro, I came here for the Marvels, for Miss Marvel. At the end of the day, if I go to watch like, this is my issue with TASM 2. It was a love story. It was literally Bollywood, Shah Rukh Khan, and whoever, any Indian actress you can take, and they're just dancing around in the web. And they're like, "Oh, I love you, I love you." And I get it. Spider-Man's a romantic character. The death of Gwen Stacy is a huge story arc. You need the romance for that story arc to hit. I get it. But that was the premise of the movie, was a love story. I don't care. After he saved that bus, he broke up with Gwen after they graduated. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this. I know it's classic Spider-Man, but I don't want to watch this. It's just, it was a love movie first, Spider-Man movie second. Miss Marvel was a Pakistan National Geographic introduction first, superhero stuff after. And then let's talk about the fact that if you're going to negate Miss Marvel's powers, not make her stretchy, why the hell would you barely have Reed stretch in Fantastic Four? That makes no sense to me.
I mentioned that on the last episode. I wanted more stretchy.
Bro, if you're going to negate her powers and you're going to make it to where, listen, Mr. Fantastic is coming, we don't want anything taken away from him. I don't agree with that logic, but sure, let's buy it. Then Mr. Fantastic has to move like Ryan North's run, and read it, guys, right now. The Ryan North Fantastic Four run is really good right now. It's current, it's right now, and Reed is doing crazy, stretchy stuff. I love it. He's moving like Marvel Rivals. I love it. But if you're going to take away those powers from Kamala, why would you also take it away from Reed? Like that doesn't make any sense. But I'm getting off tangent. The Marvels failed because they didn't even market to their audience, bro. Pakistanis and Muslims didn't even know it was coming out.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Dog, I was at the masjid and I'm doing namaz and they're like, "Yo, what are you doing this weekend?" I'm praying, Allahu Akbar, I'm praying. They're like, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend?" I'm like, "Yo, I'm gonna watch the Marvels." And they're like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Bro, like, we gotta show out. That's our hero. That's Kamala Khan." Yeah. They're like, "Who's Kamala Khan?" Wallahi, bro, I swear to God. They're like, "Who is that?" And I'm like,
"Oh my God."
There was a whole Miss Marvel TV show about it. They were advertising to it, and they did a terrible job. And I think they Treasure Planet did. Like, how Disney did not advertise Treasure Planet that well?
Yeah.
This is the same thing.
I think marketing overall for a lot of movies has been, I think besides like Barbenheimer, what else has been? F1 had really good marketing. I think marketing for movies has overall gone really downhill recently.
Oh yeah.
I don't feel like trailers are as good anymore.
No, but shout out to the Avatar 3 trailer, bro.
Yes. I know you love Avatar.
Bro, I gotta say this, and I say this with all due respect. I love you, Brie, but that evil Na'vi, I might turn evil for her. That's all I gotta say. Bro. When all the other Na'vi are like moving like this, and they're like kind of hunched over, and they're like scared, like, that one sequence where they're like scared, and she's just walking like a baddie, just like in like, like one leg in front of the other. Oh, I'm making a lot of noise, but it's okay.
Don't kick your mic out again.
Yeah. I don't want to do that. But when she's like kind of walking forward and she's like not freaking out, and the other Na'vi are like, oh, and she's just kind of like, "You want to go kill some Jake Sully people? Let's do it." Like, and I'm calling it right now, bro. I'm calling it right now. Quaritch. I know Quaritch is hitting that. I know Quaritch and the evil Na'vi. Bro, I know that's happening. And I'm telling you right now, bro, Jake Sully is probably going to murk her. That's probably going to happen. And now Quaritch is in. Now he's emotionally invested into Pandora. You killed my woman? Oh, you got to go now. First of all, you killed my people when I was a human. Then I turned blue. And now you killed my woman while I'm blue? Oh, you have to die. Like, that, like, I don't know, like, but I hope they don't fridge her. I hate it when movies just fridge a female character. But I know for a fact Quaritch is understanding what it means to really connect to Aowa, especially with her. Or actually, no, he's not connecting to Aowa. He's connecting to the Haram. But no, Avatar 3 trailer, excellent. Yeah, we're excited about that. There is a lot of not, marketing for a lot of the movies. I thought maybe the last really great marketing scheme was with Top Gun, or Smile 2. Smile 2.
Oh, Smile 2. Yeah, but you don't see like you just, people put out a trailer, maybe a few posters, but you don't, like, films. It feels like the marketing for films starts so much later. I think Like, there's not that build up anymore over like like 6 months to a year before a movie anymore.
There is
Which
for one. There is for one. And
oh
it's coming out next year. It's Spider-Man Brand New Day. They're smart
yeah,
for that. They're very smart for that, bro. Before the suit got leaked, they made an announcement. Before Tom Holland on set got leaked, they had the teaser trailer. And now they're having all of these brand new clips, HD clips of him in this gorgeous suit. That's marketing. That's releasing a trailer without needing to release a trailer.
that is a bit of an anomaly though, because Spider-Man is such an insane phenomenon that they don't need to do much, like put much money into marketing themselves. The fans will do all the marketing.
That's true. But if you forget TASM 2 happened, Spider-Man community was dead for a bit. People have
Yeah,
revisionist
that's
history,
true.
but it was dead. Nobody was excited. There was the plot of Peter resuscitating dead people with his blood, his Oscorp blood. Norman Osborn in like a frozen head jar. Like, bro, like
Like
like Taz.
Futurama.
Yeah, bro. Like, I don't know what they. Like I said, it's my birthday. I don't know what they were using, but I need some of that to celebrate, bro. Because I don't know what they. I don't know what they were thinking that was quality, bro. Anyway. So I think with Spider-Man, I agree. He's cultural zeitgeist. Like, you're never like he's always going to. I truly think Spider-Man, whether it's Peter or Miles, he's always going to be the bigger superhero of all time. He's bigger
Mhm.
than Batman. He's bigger than Spider-Man or Superman. He's bigger than a lot of teams. Like, a Spider-Man movie is bigger than, I would say, Teen Titans. Like, like I would say,
Yeah,
and we were saying this earlier, bro. If Spider-Man Brand New Day makes way more money, or even makes more money than Doomsday, I feel like Marvel has a huge problem. Has a
Mhm.
huge problem, because that is showing that there is more of a draw in one character and a quality story than having an amalgamation of your best characters in an extravaganza.
It could also it could help them though if Doomsday goes along the lines of what you said before, and Spider-Man is a focal point of that. Because
Yeah.
if in they everyone goes to watch Brand New Day, it's incredible, makes a shit ton of money, and then the trailer comes out for Doomsday a few weeks after release. Spider-Man's in the trailer, and it's linked to No Way Home.
Mm.
Everyone is gonna go and see that movie.
So I think the post-credit scene for Brand New Day should not be connect. Maybe the first post-credit scene should be related to MCU / Spider-Man. The second one's got to be a Doomsday trailer. It's got to be
Oh,
the Doomsday trailer.
what wasn't the trailer for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness at the end of No Way Home?
I don't think so. It definitely wasn't in our
No,
theater. But I know that in Avengers, in Captain
I think
America First
I
Avenger,
think it was
the
for us,
Avengers. Oh, then lucky we didn't get that. But no, I know also for Captain America First Avenger, the post credit scene was the Avengers trailer.
Yeah. Oh, that'd
So,
be incredible.
and if Doomsday or Brand New Day is now coming out before Doomsday, and you don't want to have a trailer out too early, you don't want to have it too late. Doomsday would be Brand New Day would be the perfect opportunity to have a trailer for Doomsday. But if you
Yeah.
have a trailer for Doomsday at the beginning of Brand New Day, isn't that not competing excitement? So, right? So, like, boom,
Yeah.
the post credit scene of Brand New Day, and make it full circle, right? The second post credit scene of Homecoming was Captain America saying you wasted your time. Brand New Day, it's freaking Avengers Doomsday trailer. That's the post credit scene, and everybody's going to stay in through the theaters. Everybody's going to stay through the credits for that. That's
And
what they
if they
should
don't
do.
release it online as well, they do what they're doing with like the Odyssey trailer at the minute. The only way you can see it is go into the cinema.
Mm-hmm.
That will just help Brand New Day at the box office as well.
Yeah, exactly. But then Doomsday has to capitalize,
Yeah.
because again, this is Doomsday is doing two things. It's culminating the MCU while also restarting it.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's
That's
a
a
lot
lot.
to handle in over Doomsday and Secret Wars, about 5-6 hours of storytelling.
Exactly. The only way for Doomsday to for me to make for it to make sense thematically is if you literally tie it, like I said, to No Way Home, maybe somehow to Brand New Day, just in terms of character motivations, not in terms of like what's actually happening. But also if they tie it directly to Endgame. So if Doom is like, yo, we gotta kill old Steve Rogers because when he went back in time and he went and gave the stones back, he created more and more incursions and he's creating more problems for me. So screw this guy. I know he's a hero for you, but screw that. I'm gonna kill him. So now old Steve Rogers, right? Because they say Steve is gone. They haven't said he's dead. I have a
Yeah,
feeling they haven't said that because they don't know if they want him to be dead. Okay, have old Steve Rogers, who's our 616 Steve Rogers, come back, try to face Doom. Doom kills him. I know this whole episode, it's just me saying Doom kills everybody, but that truly is the only way I see Doom being on any level of Thanos and also having any engagement from the audience. We will be locked in if he's like a legitimate threat. It's like Attack on Titan. Have you ever seen Attack on Titan?
I know. I've never watched it.
Well, are you familiar with the basic premise? Giant people
Yeah, yeah,
eating
yeah.
other. Okay, those first couple of episodes in Attack on Titan, every character that you like or is attached to, they die. Like, so if Doom
Spoilers.
is, yeah, yeah, spoilers. So if Doom is going through the Avengers like hot butter, a hot knife through butter, we're locked in. Like that's the only way. That's the
Mhm.
only way. If they do something stupid like Kang losing to ants, the
Oh
MCU
God.
the MCU is effectively, I don't want to say it's dead, but it's effectively a zombie because you do have franchises like Spider-Man and Deadpool and Wolverine that is always going to get people in to the box office. But yeah, they have to figure out how to effectively wrap up the MCU to create a prime MCU if that's what they're going to do, while also introducing, establishing, and reinforcing Doom's motivations all in one movie. It's just a lot and it's too much. And I think that
Yeah.
Doomsday and Secret Wars should be 3 or 4 Avengers movies down the line.
Hmm.
That really should be the like now is the time to rebuild your trust. I feel like they're just ironically the roles have reversed. They're doing what Warner Brothers did with Batman versus
Yeah.
Superman many years
Not
ago.
building up enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is going to be less Infinity War and more Batman versus Superman, and you guys know how much I hate that movie. But that I don't know, man. Doom
That's going on TikTok. That sentence.
bro. I hate that movie, dude. That movie sucks. But no, like I Doomsday, like I don't know, like, and Brand New Day, and just briefly we can talk about it before we kind of wrap up. Like with Brand New Day, a lot of the excitement, a lot of what people are really excited about is the characters, like not the cameo. That's different, but the character.
Hmm.
Where's Peter Parker's character going? Where's the tone of the story going? How is Frank Castle's character involved? The literal character of Savage Hulk and his arc, and how does he fit into it? Let's also talk about, bro, who the hell is the villain of Brand New Day? We
Yeah.
don't know. We don't know. And
It's got to be Mr. Negative, hasn't it?
they're telling us, bro, and also everybody listening right now, as of 5 minutes before this recording, which is, I want to say, an hour ago, so very recent news, they said we will not find out who the villain is. We're going to have to go to the movie to find out who it is. We'll have hints in the trailers, hints in, like, like leaked photos, set photos. They're never going to tell us, though. To me, that's like, I have a couple of ideas. It's got to be for sure Alistair Smythe. I haven't seen anybody say it's the Spider
Oh.
Slayers. Like, it's got to be Alistair Smythe. If that's not him, I could definitely see it being potentially Craven. I don't
Aaron
see
Taylor
it.
Johnson.
I maybe. I don't know because I saw that lion thing, the lion logo, and I'm like, Craven.
Mm.
But that's a stretch. Maybe Puma, but that's a stretch. I really don't know. I always thought it was going to be Mr. Negative, but again, Mr. Negative, he's not Japanese, and there's a lot of samurai Japanese memorabilia and stuff in this movie. So,
Hmm.
and then the director himself hasn't said anything, but Alex P and Daniel RPK, all these like leakers on Twitter, they have said it's not Mr. Negative. So unless they're
Ooh.
James Gunning it, and they're like, how James Gunn said Ultraman is not in this movie, and he was in this movie, and like maybe they're James Gunning it, which I would respect. Hey, don't just confirm all the secrets of the movie. But
Yeah.
also, I think if they are building up who the villain is and they don't want anybody to know who the villain is, please do not repeat Marvel's Spider-Man 2. We all knew it was going to be Harry. We
Yeah.
all knew. We
Yeah.
all knew it was going to be Harry Osborn. If you're going to make it a massive mystery, make the payoff that huge. So
Hmm.
the only thing that I see that would be a surprise villain that would make me lose my mind in a good way is if the main villain was Mysterio.
Oh. And
That's bro.
does Mysterio did like he doesn't know who Peter is now, or does
Yeah,
he know?
he doesn't know who Peter
Okay.
is. I would imagine the snap erased it, but I would imagine Mysterio knows he at one point knew who he was.
He knows that he used to know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And so that way he's still like a threat behind Peter. So maybe Mysterio, because like what if Mysterio is getting Punisher angry, getting Hulk angry, setting up crimes, making it seem like there's a Mr. Negative behind the scenes. Like what if Mr. Negative is in the movie, but Peter beat him like throughout his years as Spider-Man, so he's just locked up in prison. But he thinks it's Mr. Negative out here acting like it, but Mr. Negative is like, bro,
Oh. Yeah.
I'm like, no. So he's in the movie, but not really. So as fans, you're like, what's going on? And it's Mysterio. And Mysterio makes a spectacle out of New York, out of the Punisher, out of Hulk being savage again, out of Peter being at his absolute darkest for clicks and views.
Like Screwball.
Yeah. Yeah. What is more evil than putting people's lives in danger, especially post Infinity War and Endgame, when we're all about valuing people's lives and not being snapped away? What's more evil than to making New York your own battleground just so that you can capitalize and
Oh,
make
this is,
money?
I've literally just thought this in my head. This is completely stupid, and please don't take me seriously. But just humour me for a second.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is could Sadie Sink be Screwball, and in this universe, Screwball is Mysterio's daughter?
Yo, listen, I as long like first of all, that would be like what the hell,
Yeah.
but as long as it works, I'd be down with that. There were a couple people in our comment section who were saying, forget Gwen Stacy, bro, she's Black Cat, and there were a couple of edits of her as Black Cat, which works. I'd prefer Sydney Sweeney. I feel like she's born for that role, but I mean, whatever. Maybe she's better at acting at that role or something. But sure. But I think that's kind of what it is. I think Mysterio might be the secret villain, bro. I think it might be Mysterio, and I think he's probably setting the stuff behind the scenes to mess with Peter, just to have a thematic story about whatever they want to talk about. I just think that would be crazy. I don't know if that's going to happen. And watch, after we upload this, they're going to have, Daniel Day Kim as Mr. Negative on set or something like that. But like, I really think that would be what would get the people talking. I
Yeah.
really do think that would be. And now you can have your shocker moment with Mysterio, right? Where it's like
Mm.
angry Tom Holland, no black suit, just pissed, chasing Mysterio, like, you ruined my life. And Mysterio is like, whoa, 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 whoa,
I'll
whoa, whoa,
follow you
whoa,
till
whoa.
the ends of the earth.
And then what if they flip it? What if John Bernthal's Punisher needs Mysterio alive and Peter's like, no, screw this. Get out of my face, Frank.
Oh.
And now
Oh, yeah, that would be crazy.
Frank is like, Webhead, I need him alive. I'm all about killing him. Let's kill him after 5 minutes. And Peter's like, no, now. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
boom, like then they could have like some sort of like, I think that's one thing, like that would be a cool theory. Mysterio is the secret villain and it's return, because Peter's life really went to hell after Far From Home. You get what I'm saying? So like that's why if you tie it back to that, it would be a way to kind of make it full circle. And then another thing, because I feel like a lot of people are really hard on those John Watts Spider-Man movies, like the Spider-Man Tom Holland movies. Those movies are going to age well and beautifully if and only if Brand New Day is dark as hell. And let me explain. What if you have a scene where Tom Holland is thinking about his stupid like health teacher and his gym teacher and the nice guy who his wife pretended to be snapped away? You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
talking about? Like, what if there's a
Yeah.
scene where Tom Holland Spider-Man is just reminiscing about life being stupid and silly and dumb and kind of jokey, and now he's in a different phase of his life and he misses that. The stuff that he kind of cringed at, now he misses. He misses those interactions with his teachers. He misses those stupid, silly interactions with Flash. Stuff that we thought was childlike and kiddie. What if you cash in on that and make that something that Peter fondly remembers? And now those movies that everybody, me included, don't really, we're kind of iffy on, minus No Way Home and the final half of Homecoming. Now they're like the first half of the Harry Potter saga. Now they're like the first half of the Star Wars franchise. You get what I'm saying? Now it's like they're less of not being comic book accurate, and now they truly are setting the stage for the main event, which is Brand New Day. I think
Yeah.
that's how it works. And Peter, as a character, can be so vengeful and be so dark when he realizes how much he really has lost. So all of those stupid, silly classroom scenes and those hallway scenes, cash in on them, make flashbacks, have memories of Peter remembering a dumb joke from Ned or a dumb joke from Mr. Harrington. I think that was his name.
Yeah.
And now cut it to a scene where he's like looking at Aunt May's grave.
Mm, yeah.
Like there's
That
those
that would be
movies.
impactful.
Those movies can only be successful as time goes on if this movie does truly like cash in on the fact that he did have a happy part of his life, and we're not going to diminish that. He
Yeah.
did have a happy time. So that's the point of Spider-Man, so that every kid and every person who wants can have a life that Peter once did.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's just one idea. That's just one spitball idea that I had. But yeah, bro, like I think, and then another thing, we have to address this, bro. That symbiosis, that leak,
Yes. That
I think
poster.
that's bullshit. I think it's not true, bro. That's like if James Gunn had a massive poster outside of the Superman and Supergirl movie and it said, Batman is in this movie. How believable is that? They just had a massive poster that said symbiosis. What? I don't fall for that. Venom
What
is.
do we think of the theories that Matt Gargan might be Venom?
I love it. But again, Matt Gargan needs if they're going all in on Venom being a dark version of Peter before he became a hero, before his babyface turn, if we're going 90s Venom, well, you've already done Eddie. Go Mac. Mac
Mm.
was a terrible Venom in the comics, to be clear. He was awful in the
Yeah, I was going
Thunderbolts.
to ask you about that. Tell me a bit about when it happened in the comics.
It was so I read, because at the time those comics were really dark. My parents did not let me read them, and they were right too, because Mac, he was a cannibal. He was ripping people apart. Also, the Thunderbolts, there was a lot of really weird sexual overtones and undertones that my parents were like, nah, we're not having my son stare at women's boobs while he's invisible or something. Like just weird, like consent stuff that was just off in
Yeah.
those books. So I thought that when I read it post, like after the fact, recently, like a couple months ago, I kind of read a lot of it. I was like, yeah, Matt Gargan's Venom sucks because he doesn't do anything different that Evil Eddie didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
He's just more monstrous and kind of a caricature of himself.
Okay.
But on theory, Matt Gargan as the Venom, that's brilliant. That works. And if this is a Matt Gargan that Peter has had history with, even before Homecoming, right? Because Matt Gargan said this in the post-credit scene of Homecoming. What did he say? He said, we've had interactions before, and I want to cut his head up.
Mm.
You know, put it in a blender or whatever, put it in a microwave, whatever the quote was.
Oh.
Peter Parker has messed with Matt Gargan's life many times. When he was a kid, when he had the Iron Man training wheels, he was still messing his life up. Then he threw a car at him. Or no, he put him in a position to where a car was thrown at him.
Yeah.
With Vulture, right? Then he gets arrested. And then Max probably locked in prison for a long, long time, which would explain in universe why he was never in Far From Home or No Way Home, right? He was locked away.
Do you remember the post-credit scene of Homecoming where he's confronting Vulture and he's
Exactly.
like, and you know who he is. Even though Matt Gargan will have eventually found out that who Peter was, that's now been erased. So does he still think that Vulture knows who he is?
I think it would be great. I think, okay, so then that would really tie in, because what if Punisher's gunning for Vulture? He wants to kill him. Scorpion wants to kill him. And now Spider-Man is in a position where he has to save his old villain. And that thematically works.
Scorpion doesn't want to. Scorpion wants to torture him and get Peter get him to tell him who Spider-Man is, but he doesn't know because he's forgotten. And
Mm,
that's what Venom, Scorpion, or maybe just Scorpion on his own, and Punisher like fighting each other.
mm. That would, or what if, or a scene where like Scorpion's like, tell me who the bleep Spider-Man is, and Vulture's like, I don't know, like I don't know, bro, I don't know who he is, and then as Scorpion, he's like, okay, I believe you, and then he kills him, and now Spider-Man has guilt. He has guilt because he erased his memory. That death happened as
Yes.
there you go. That's one thing you could do. You could
Give
set the
Spider-Man more crippling guilt.
we bro. We need that depression. Like not we don't need it like as a status quo. We need it so that he can overcome. That's what it is. We want it so that he can overcome, so that he's a
Yeah.
stronger, more optimistic person. That's why we need that depression. But I think that could be a way to do it. But I think Matt Gargan is such an evil person. He's such a dark, twisted individual. He's one person. You know how I say half of Spider-Man villains, they're broken people, and then there's people who are just evil.
Yeah.
Mac falls in the evil part of it. Mac, he. I mean, even like what did Karen say? He had multiple homicides, a couple kidnappings, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I think that Mac, he's probably hated Spider-Man for a long time, and at some point he's probably going to get the black suit, and he's probably going to be Venom, and that would be brilliant. But again, they would really have to play up this years long beef between Peter and Matt Gargan. They have to have history of hating each other for that dynamic to work. And then also they would have to make Michael Mando a recurring villain in Spider-Man. Like I would kind of treat him like Darth Vader. Make him so where he is Scorpion in Spider-Man 4. He has a role in Spider-Man 5, and then Spider-Man 6 make him Venom.
That would be great because Scorpion, like obviously Spider-Man fans who know the comics and the games, they know who he is. And if you look at the mainstream sort of Spider-Man media recently, the only time we've really seen Scorpion as Scorpion is the Spider-Man games, and he's not even a main character. He's like a side character in that. So I think that's great for like the general audience because that's a fresh character. There's so much potential there who they've never seen on screen before.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I think it also depends on the tone, right? Like tonally, how does Scorpion move? He needs to have an aura that's just gravitating. And I think Michael Mando can do it. You look at him in Breaking Bad, bro, stole the show every single time. So they need to make Michael Mando, they need to give him creative liberty, very similar to how I don't want to be disrespectful and say he's like a Heath Ledger, but like how like The Dark Knight clearly gave Heath Ledger a lot of room to play with and a lot of room to really make that role his own. And then he took it and ran with it and did incredible. At least afford Michael Mando a similar opportunity. I'm not saying he's going to be anywhere near Heath. I don't want to disrespect Heath, rest in peace. But at least give him the opportunity to really play with that sick, sadistic, twisted villain, like Predator of Spider-Man. Like that has to happen. But I think Punisher, that's like kind of like, I don't know how he fits in this movie, but I think tonally he fits. I just don't know how he fits, but he does fit. Like it works. There's rumors that he might have weaponry that can help compete with the Hulk and Spider-Man. I don't know. Like, to me, this movie definitely comes across that a lot of characters are battling their darkest, deepest, worst aspects of themselves, right? Bruce with Hulk, Savage Hulk, excuse me, Punisher, like Frank versus the Punisher, and now Spider-Man holding on to Aunt May's words versus a Spider-Man who's just like, man, screw this all. Like, like there appears to be a theme of overcoming your worst demons, right? So whoever the main villain is, however Hulk operates, however the Punisher operates, and how Peter interacts and all of those interactions, all of those story beats, there has to be one common denominator if it was a numerical fraction. And that common denominator has to be the theme of the movie, which I would argue is being better than the trauma that you're suffering. That's what I'm guessing. That all has to fit. Aunt May's death has to fit. Like, I really think, like I keep saying this theory, but I really think it would make sense for Peter needing a job. He can't get a job. He doesn't have Social Security. His identity's wiped. Doesn't know how to make money, right? Boom, the Morales family, they need a math tutor for their young son Miles.
Oh, I love that. I would absolutely love that.
Yeah, like the
That's
Morales
such a
family.
natural way to introduce them.
Yeah, boom, like, and now he's training Miles, blah blah blah. But I don't want Peter to give Miles his powers, like,
Mhm.
or you know how like in the game, like it was through Oscorp interactions with Oscorp that the spider bit Miles too. I still want them to keep the OG Miles Morales became Spider-Man on his own accord, had nothing to do with Peter.
Yeah.
Like Aaron Davis was trying to rob Oscorp, and he had Miles over at his house that night, and that's why the spider bit him. Like, it was pure coincidence. But having a history with Peter Parker, and what if, like in Spider-Man 6, Peter dies, like Death of Spider-Man, but his identity gets revealed only after his death. So now Miles is in a position where it's like, bro, my older brother and my math tutor for many years, I didn't even know he was Spider-Man.
Mm.
And now he gets bit by
Oh,
the
okay.
spider, and it's like, I can't just leave. I can't just, like,
Got to
bro,
honor his legacy.
boom, there you go.
Yeah.
So that way it's not clickbaity and kind of predictable. Like at the last minute, Miles comes in, like, still have it like Peter's death kind of, inspires him to do this. But back to Spider-Man 4, yeah, I think that's how you do it. Introduce Miles Morales and his family as just
Mhm.
side characters. That's it.
Yeah.
Just side characters, just moments where he's like going through a tough emotional time and they're just talking to him and helping him out. A family that kind of takes him in without having a family now, Like, I
Yeah.
think there's something beautiful about the Morales family spiritually taking in Peter. And then what if through Peter's antics of Spider-Man that potentially gets Jefferson Davis, you know? But this time,
Oh, there's we we need another 2 hours.
but here, check me out. But this time around, rather than going the trope of "you got my husband killed, you got my dad killed," what if the Morales family is like, "Bro, he was a hero. You
Mm.
inspired him. He passed away in the line of fire. He went out a hero. He went out trying to be like you. Do not guilt yourself." And that brings a positive outlook to Spider-Man. For the first time ever, somebody who was affected by Spider-Man's antics tells him, "No, bro, you're still a hero." And
And
it's the
isn't trying
Morales
to kill
family.
him.
Yeah, and it's the Morales
Yeah.
family. Like, you know how much I love Miles, bro, and you know how much I love just the concept of Miles being Spider-Man, and he has nothing to do with Peter, like, and the OG run. It's just so beautiful to me. Just the fact that
Yeah.
it doesn't matter where your community is, it doesn't matter where you're from, good people exist everywhere, and that's the only common denominator that you need. Like, the fact
Yeah.
that Miles got inspired being an inner city kid from a Queens kid and Peter Parker, we're all together. That, like, it's just a beautiful message, bro. I can't say enough good stuff. And then there's that picture of the kid
Oh
on
yeah.
set of Miles looking at Peter. Like, that's got to be the dynamic. Like, I know I literally just said that Peter should, pass away and then Miles becomes Spider-Man, but I also think it'd be kind of cool if he trained him for a bit. I don't know. There's so much. You can never lose with the Miles Peter team up.
Maybe there's potential in an episode where we talk about how to introduce Miles in the MCU, and that's a whole episode.
Yeah, specifically Miles as Spider-Man, because
Yeah.
technically introduced, but yeah, no, yeah, yeah, for sure, 100%. But yeah, that's just, I know we just talked about Brand New Day, but briefly, I just think that the fact that Brand New Day is advertising behind the scenes, advertising the photos, letting the fans take photos and uploading it
Yeah.
online, making adverts, making posts, using the same music from No Way Home in their posts. They're treating this movie like a big deal. The fact that they're not doing that with Doomsday is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, we've literally not seen any set stuff, I think.
I
Apart from
don't.
like actors going for like meals together and things like that.
Yeah, like, but the
That's
X-Men
crazy.
are back. Like, we need a whole episode. The X-Men. I love the X-Men, guys. I love Cyclops. Like, bro, I love Cyclops, dude. He is, like, for me, it's Spider-Man number one, Cyclops number two. Those are my favorite Marvel characters. Like, I love Like, and also it's just cool. Like, bro, it's just cool, dog. Like, he
Yeah.
has such a cool power base, and but no, and also the character of Cyclops, like he is somebody, like if he's like, we gotta do this, we gotta do, I'm like, yes sir, let's do it. Like Cyclops, like bro, like he's him. The fact
Yeah.
that there isn't a lot of Cyclops news is crazy, but also there isn't a lot of Cyclops fans. Recently there is after X-Men 97, but for so long, man, I've had to tell people he's cooler than Wolverine, and nobody believes me, bro.
Oh yeah,
He
that is controversial.
He is
I
cooler than
think.
Wolverine, bro. He is. I have to.
Oh,
He is cooler than Wolverine, and he beats
but
Wolverine in
Wolverine's
a
got
fight every single time.
he's got the
Okay,
claws.
but like okay, you can have your claws, but if I'm just like you can't do anything. Wolverine, you come here. Wolverine, you look at me. Like what are you gonna do, bro? And then you have a mirror there. You can ricochet the beam, hit Wolverine in the back of the head. Like Wolverine, and even in the original Chris Claremont runs, like yeah, like Wolverine couldn't really touch Cyclops because Cyclops had a plan for everything. That's why on TikTok with the joke Batman's mentor, like like bro, no, like Cyclops. There's so many cool stuff that I'm kind of surprised Doomsday is not advertising, but Brand New Day
Yeah.
is, and it's coming out earlier. So yeah, like I'm really excited about that. But yeah.
I think should we quickly before we wrap up do 10 minutes talking about weapons? Because I know you've been very excited about that movie
Yeah,
and you
let's do it.
loved it.
Yeah.
I'll I was I was not expecting to find it as funny as I did. I don't know if we were supposed to find certain parts funny. Um,
I'm thinking of the cop.
yeah. So, do you want to sort of sum up your thoughts and tell people who haven't seen it maybe a bit about the movie?
I thought so. I saw it twice. When I first saw it, I thought it was brilliant. When I saw it the second time, I was a little bored because I thought that when a lot of the movie is the mystery, the intrigue, the suspense, what's happening. When you find out what it is, which is the witch lady and the kids are being used as literally a kryptonite son for her, like literally guys, like pretty much this witch lady, she needs all these kids, like all those kids who ran from the room, she wants to literally be around them so she can absorb their life energy and not be sick. And I thought the brilliance of the movie, like there's a lot of brilliant themes. There's a lot of brilliant themes. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. The only reason I was bored the second time around, it was a long day of work. I was sleepy. I was tired. And I've already seen this movie and my brothers wanted to go watch it. And I'm like, sure, let's go watch it. And like, so I was already just like exhausted, but it wasn't bad. It's not like the movie dropped on my second rewatch. I think it's thematically brilliant. I think the fact that there is a running theme, and Bree said this, shout out Bree, there is a running theme of parasites in this movie. There is a run with the cordyceps, with the TV news, like there's a running theme of parasites and weapons. And the theme is that the world, specifically adults, use children as weapons and therefore we're parasites.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can break it down so many different ways, but let's start at the top, right? Let's talk about Aunt Gladys. The actress, I forget her name, she did a fantastic job.
She was incredible.
Yeah, Aunt Gladys. But I think what it is Aunt Gladys is obviously evil, but she's not Joker evil so much as she is Craven evil. Like she's desperate, she's sick,
Yeah.
she's dying, so she needs these kids. That inherently, I mean, it's horrifying, right?
Yeah.
But it's not on some I want to eat kids because they're yummy. It's not like, it's based out of a necessity.
Yeah.
But I
She
think
needs them to live.
but the brilliance of this movie is just because evil is born out of a necessity doesn't make it less evil.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that I see that is the ending, the necessity was she had to die. She had to die. We all agree with that. Nobody can get close to her though. The only people who can kill her are the kids.
Yeah.
That was a necessity. She had to get murked, right? For them to go home. But how they did it, ripping her apart, which is probably what needed to happen for the spell to break, right? Ripping her apart and everything like that. While it was cathartic and it was funny for us because we're seeing her Like, oh
It was
no,
so
no.
comedic when she's like running through the gardens and running through someone's house, and then Josh Brolin goes through the house, and they're like, "Oh, now there's a man in the house."
But what's funny for us, would you not agree? Aunt Gladys probably thought it was funny when Benedict Wong's character is chasing Silver Surfer, Julia Garner.
Oh
She
yeah,
probably thought that was funny too. And because funny and fear and horror is all based on our perspective. Just like being a parasite and being in need is all based on your perspective. That's am I making sense? Like, does that
yeah,
make sense? So when with this, like, those kids, they needed to come back home. She had to die, but those kids had to be weaponized for that to happen. So even in their liberation, were they mentally enslaved? Because it was 2 years after, right? The narrator is saying the story happened 2 years ago. And now, 2 years later, after they killed Aunt Gladys, are they now able to talk? Are they now able to express how they feel? That's trauma.
yeah,
So I thought the theme of the movie is like, as a world and specifically as adults, culturally, specifically in America too, there's themes of school shootings and losing your children. We use children as parasites. You can't tell me that the NRA doesn't use kids as parasites. You want to protect your kids? Buy more guns. It's disgusting. Like, you got to be kidding me, bro. Like, but that's what Weapons did. That's what and it did such a fantastic job of showing just how horrifying, because we all became at Gladys, if you think about it, when we watched her death, because that's how she was watching other people die with her targets.
yeah,
The difference is, and there was no difference, she wanted them to die because of her personal need of being like healthy, right?
yeah,
And we wanted her to die because she's just evil. But the end result is the same. The kids are being weaponized,
yeah.
and we are the parasites because we need them to do that. I don't know if that makes sense, but like,
No, no, that makes a lot of sense.
so
Um,
I think it was a commentary on how children are being utilized societally and culturally, and
that's why I think it's been received differently over here to how it's been received over there because of the things with the guns. Like it's going to resonate more with American audiences than UK audiences because we don't have those same experiences of kids being weaponized, of school shootings, of things like that.
yeah, and bro, what? Okay, so what was the general consensus over there? Because over here, I saw it with Bree, I saw it with my brothers. My brothers thought it was mid. They thought it was boring.
Mm.
They thought it was. They had that one Invincible scene, like in the kitchen. You know what I'm talking about? The one Invincible like headbutting scene. That was like,
Yeah.
that was horrifying. But for the most part, they were like, get to the action, get to, like, they were kind of bored. Versus Bree and I thought we were brilliant. What'd you guys think?
Well, I saw it with a few friends at the weekend. We just thought it was like we weren't like blown away by it. We didn't think it was like an incredible like 10 out of 10 movie or whatever. But we just thought because we didn't have that sort of connection to it in the same way, we just thought it was a good, entertaining horror movie. To be honest,
Okay.
um, with the comedic aspect at the end, sort of elevating a bit. I think the sort of dark comedy.
Yeah, bro, especially the cop. That was funny when he's like, James, you have anything that'll stick me, James? No. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yes. So if I stick my hands in your pocket, James, nothing's gonna stick me? Yeah. Sticks his hand in his pocket, gets stabbed,
Clocks him.
and then he clocks him right in the face.
He was the standout for me in that film. By the way, I can't remember the actor's name, but James, his character,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was brilliant. He was so funny, and he just fully like immersed himself in the role as well. And he was
yeah.
the only part of the main cast that was
Remained.
there before pre the strikes. Like Pedro Pascal was meant to be Josh Brolin's character, and every other main character was a different actor. Also, I thought Alden Ehrenreich, is that what you say
Yeah,
it? Han
yeah,
Solo guy. He was great. I want to
yeah,
see him in more stuff. He's brilliant.
yeah. Bro, everybody acted unbelievably great in
Yeah.
that movie. Everybody, Alden did an awesome job. James did an incredible job. Like, I can't say enough good stuff about this movie. But I think, like, yeah, it's a fantastic, entertaining movie too. But I think those deeper themes about how kids are being utilized as weapons. I mean, even right now, like, not that it has anything to do with it, but to any of our audiences right now, Ollie, you're familiar with PragerU, right?
No.
So they're a conservative, very alt right news source. Like they're the people who like, they'll like be on the TV, like on the side of the roads, and they're like, "So how much do you make? Oh, as a woman, do you really think you should be doing
Oh,
like they're one of
yeah,
those?"
yeah, yeah. The
You know
sort
what
of
I'm saying?
street interview type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So PragerU, they created because they cut PBS and public kids funding TV shows in America, right? So
Right.
Elmo, none of that. It's horrifying. But Barney, none of that. Say bye. PragerU is now creating a new animated kids TV show. It's like educational, like Clifford the Big Red Dog, like that. But they're justifying atrocities, bro. Like they're talking about like it's Christopher Columbus, and the art style is like Bubble Guppies. So think like Bubble Guppies, Nickelodeon Kids. That's the art style, and it's animated Christopher Columbus, and he's talking about, hey, like slavery wasn't that bad. There was a lot of civilizations that we actually helped and brought them to
Oh
America.
my
And
god.
they learned skills in slavery. Bye bye now. And it's a fuck it's so dystopian, bro. But
That's like Nazi Germany type stuff.
that's weapons. The kids are being weaponized and they're being Aunt Gladys. So
Mm.
when I watched Weapons, all of this was going through
Yeah.
my head. And the crazy thing is Aunt Gladys, her herself, she was desperate. She was in a tough spot. Like a lot of these right wing, alt right motherfuckers, they're desperate. They don't have money. They don't know they're living tough lives. Maybe financially or health wise, they're going through it. But instead of using their brains, they start weaponizing the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And because of lack of education, which was a theme throughout the movie, like that's where my brain went to. I don't know if my connections are making sense or if I'm
No, that
stretching it,
makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
if I'm stretching it like Mr. Fantastic, but like I really like the kids are being weaponized, bro. And it's scary. It's scary out here. It's scary out here, bro. America. Listen, bro. You guys are in the UK. You guys, Canada, anywhere in the world. Learn from America. Don't be like us. Learn from us. Do not be us, bro. Don't.
I think that's a good note to end it on. But before we go, do you want the Aunt Gladys prequel movie that's apparently been rumored?
Wait, that's happening.
Yeah. Well, apparently, yeah. But just give me yes or no. Do you want that to happen?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to see that. I want to see. I want to
Me
see
too.
it. I want to see. She was bald. She was throwing up. I want to see it. I want to see
She
what
looked
happened.
a bit like Demi Moore in The Substance.
Yes, yes, exact, bro. A
Yeah.
great horror movie too, by the way. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
no,
unbelievable.
but no, that for sure. That's something that I would love to see for sure. I don't want to see it more than Good Boy though. Like Good Boy, man.
Oh, I can't watch that. I love dogs too much.
Bro, if they kill that dog, I keep saying it. If they kill that dog, there's going to be nothing paranormal left on this earth. I promise you that. Like, I will go to every haunted house. I will get a Ouija board. I will intentionally piss off all the demons. And then I will get a Quran and I'll like clear house. I'll be like, and then they're all
Full
gonna
John
go,
Wick mode on him.
yeah, full John Wick. I'm gonna have, like straight up. I'm gonna have my bullets. I'm gonna have bullets in case with like Quran ayats or something like that. That way, if when the bullets hit the ghost, they like die or something like that. Like I don't know, I'll douse them in holy water or something. I don't know, but they better not kill that dog. That is a movie, bro. We gotta watch. We gotta watch that movie, bro. Good boy, man.
I'll see what the trailer's like. I'll see what maybe the early reviews and what people are saying about it because I love dogs. I don't know if I can go through it.
I just had an idea, and we'll end the episode like this. What if the plot twist is the paranormal beings are actually trying to save the dog from an abusive pet owner? And
Oh,
because of
okay.
the dog's love and loyalty to humans, they don't even realize it's abuse.
That, as Jeremy Clarkson said in Top Gear, on that bombshell, it's time to end.
Thanks for watching today's episode, guys. I know I tended to talk a lot.
It's been a fun episode. I think I think I've had a good time today.
Yeah, bro. This like, and please, guys, follow us on all of our pages at Nuff Said Podcast. Like, subscribe, comment. Any engagement you can do
Yeah,
does a lot for
any
us.
engagement really helps, and subscribe on YouTube as well.
Yes, yeah.
We need to get those numbers up on YouTube. Like the subscribers, and just hit follow, like, comment, everything, and share it,
Share
repost.
it. Thank you guys for also on YouTube. We hit 15,000 views on one of our videos recent 2-3 days ago. We talked about static lenses or moving lenses for Spider-Man, and 15,000 views. Thank you guys for not being bots as well. We're going into the comment sections and it's real comments. There's people who are saying, I don't know what I'm talking about. There's people saying, this is why we don't just hire fans. But you know what? Thank you. I really appreciate that, because that shows you're real. You're a real person. You're actually taking time out of your day to watch us just talk about movies and comic books. And for that, truly thank you. You know, that's the best birthday gift I can ask for. If you guys want to give me a birthday gift, truly, like, comment, subscribe, share. Man, I'm gonna call out a lot of my relatives. You guys see my stories, so please repost our stuff. But with that, with that, thank you so much. And Ollie, seriously, thank you, brother. I love you so much. Like I said, anything you send, I never throw it away.
Anytime,
This
man.
was my
Happy
birthday.
birthday. Happy
Thank you.
birthday.
Yeah, I turned 29, obviously, if you guys couldn't tell. But yeah,
Big
no, thank
30 next year, old man.
Well, you know what? Hopefully next year we'll have, something on on the finger, and you'll be there, So hopefully,
Oh,
we'll get there. We'll get there very very soon. I will keep my personal life a little quiet on the internet, guys. But but thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Enough Said. We make TikToks, we make uploads, we make podcast videos, everything comic book, nerdy, anything film cinema related, because we also create cinema talking to each other. Just keep sharing our stuff. Thank you to everybody who has continued to share our stuff. 15,000 views is crazy. Thank you so much. As always, if you guys have any questions about anything comic book related, like, hey, this was an issue that I want to read, you guys are referencing, feel free to DM any of us. We'll get back to you guys with anything you need, any questions you have. I'm just very grateful, because for a couple of years, I admittedly was very lazy on the podcast, and now we're kind of back on a full swing, and we're doing
back on it.
fantastic. We're doing fantastic, bro. You guys are tuning in. We have way more viewers than subscribers. That's a great thing. That's a great problem to have. So,
Yeah,
like
champagne problem.
yeah, so thank you. We're going to continue. We're going to upload everything on TikTok as well. We take clips of what we're talking about, the best, most important parts of what we're talking about. We'll put it on TikTok, same on Instagram Reels. We also make jokes and memes, funny stuff, just like in, pop culture, whatever, talking about superhero stuff. We also upload that as well. Sometimes occasionally, we might just have like an opinion, like, hey, I just saw this on Twitter, I just got to talk about it, upload that, talk about our talks. We'll do that as well. But we can't do any of this without any of you. And without that, and with that said, that's enough. That's enough said.
That's enough said.
Yeah.
See you on the next one.